IARC Writing and Listening Classes. Class number 8. In this class, we will be looking at citations. They are a little bit complicated, so there will be a lot of information to cover. To begin with, we need to start with some definitions. There are many specialized words in this class and this topic, so we need to know what they mean. If we use a dictionary to translate these words into Japanese, we can see the following. Quotation means inyo, according to the dictionary. Paraphrase means iikae. Citation also means inyo, according to the dictionary. This is a little bit vague, and we will cover it later. Author is easy, it means sakusha. Year of publication is shupanshitanen or shupannin. And the journal or collection title would be, as you can see here, the title of the collection that the essay or report is given in. So here we have a lot of technical terms. In particular, quotation, paraphrase, and citation are very important. Citations are a way to show people where the information in your essay came from. They are very important in academic essays. Why? Why do we have to have citations in academic essays? Well, there are three main reasons. The first is basically so that the reader can check your evidence presented in your essay. Facts are more important than opinions, and opinions are usually based on facts. It's important to be able to check the evidence that you've given in your essay, and citations give you a way to check whether this evidence is valid or correct or, well, to check whether it is reliable. Next, persuasion. If you and only you are giving an opinion, well, that's an opinion. Maybe there's not so many reasons to think that this is a good opinion. But if there are many other sources and many other people who give the same opinion, maybe there's something to it. Doesn't mean there is, but it certainly has a lot more persuasion behind it. And citations help us to do this by showing that other people also think the same way because of similar reasons. Finally, a very important part is avoidance of plagiarism. This basically means that you don't steal other people's work. Now, sometimes people think, why is it not okay to steal? Why is it not okay to steal other people's work? Well, there's a bit of a philosophical argument in there, but basically you shouldn't steal other people's work, and citations show that you've borrowed other people's work. Borrowing is fine, borrowing is good, but stealing it is not good. So we use citations to avoid plagiarism. Citations basically support the data taken from other places, borrowed from other places, and it is possible to get that data into your essay in two ways. The first is quotations. So a quotation is when you 100% copy words in another person's essay or report or article. And when you use a quotation, you would often give the copied information in quotation marks. This is very important. This shows that you have 100% copied the following words. And you can see it has this structure around it. According to the author, then the quoted information, and then the citation at the end. Paraphrase is when you keep the meaning and you copy the meaning, but you change the words. And for this, you don't need to have quotation marks. And you see, often you do not need to have the page number either. And citation is basically this part at the end of the sentence. You can see it has the author and the year and occasionally the page number, depending if you're using a quotation or a paraphrase. So, citations, as we know, support data coming from other places, and the first place that we see them used is in a sentence, usually in a detailed sentence or a support sentence, and it is usually constructed by using the following parts. So we can see here, according to Ito, it is important in education to consider shifting from quantity to quality. And here we have the first part, an information signal, according to. This signals that we are using data from another person. Ito, as you can see here, is the author. Next, we have the cited or the quoted information in quotation marks. These are the words that we've copied 100% from this author. And then we have the citation at the end of the sentence with the publication year, the page number, and the author again, so we can easily find that information. However, maybe just with the author, year, and page number, it's still a little bit difficult to find where this information is from. This is where we have the next part of citations. Citations are actually made up of two parts: in-text citations and post-text citations. And we can see there's a short explanation of these terms. So in-text citations, as we've seen, they are in the text, as you can imagine. They are usually found in supporting or detailed sentences, and they are usually very short, containing only the author, the year of publication, and the page number if necessary. Post-text citations usually occur after the concluding paragraph. They're quite long, and they contain the full details of the source. And they usually include the article title, the journal title, maybe the journal number, maybe the URL, the page numbers. They have a lot of details in them. If all of this information was put in the text would become very difficult to read, very confusing, and very crowded. This is why we separate a citation into an in-text citation and a post-text citation. Conceptually, it looks a little bit like an iceberg. There is a shorter, smaller part in the text, so above the end of the essay, and the post-text citations with more of the data, more information, a heavier part of it, shall we say, is at the end of the essay in the reference list. So conceptually, it's the same citation, but there's an in-text citation part and a post-text citation part. Now, looking at some examples of this, when we use these two citation types, when we use them for journal articles, we can see here we've got the author in red with the date at the end. If you have the author written in the sentence, you don't always need to have the author written in the citation brackets at the end. And you can see with the post-text citation, we have a very set format. We would have the authors, then we have the publication year, then we would have the article title, so the title of the essay that they wrote. Then there would be the journal title, in this case, Population and Development Review, the journal numbers, the issue and the volume, and then we would have the page numbers where we can find this article. For books, it's a little bit different. You would, as you can see here, have the author and the date and the page number, and of course the cited information in quotation marks. But for the post-text citation, we would have the author again, the publication date, publication year, but just the title of the book, then the place it was published and the company that published it. For online websites, we can see here the same idea. We've got a post-text citation with the author, the year, the title of the page, the website name, and then a URL copied from that page. For online news sites, similarly, we have the author, we have the publication year, but because it's a news site and it is updated commonly and frequently, we would have the month and the day that it is published. We would have the article title, then we would have the the website name, then we would have the URL at the bottom there. For newspapers, similarly, we would have not just the publication year, but also the date and the day, the month. We would have the title, And then we would have the, in this case, the newspaper name, the collection name as it were, and the page number that it was found on. And that's roughly how you write those types of post-text citation. If you'd like to practice like this, please feel free to connect to this QR code, which gives you examples of how you can use this in a paragraph. Continue writing your body paragraphs, focusing on these citations. Write a sentence with information from another place, add an in-text citation at the end of the sentence, and then write a post-text citation to show the publication information for the source. Here is the homework. We can see we have vocabulary and the listening, and please make sure to keep your notes in order for next week. Thank you for listening.